No, our prep is amazingly shitty. I was good.
I was bad, but I did stuff for Substack, which you haven't done. So
yes,
I get points in that category.
Trading places. Yeah.
So in case you guys didn't know, we have a Substack. It's a little newsletter. We did our first Substack exclusive video this week. So look forward to more of those.
Yes.
Though we do need to, if we're going to have graphics in our videos, like I pull in when I'm in StreamYard, we need to not record them in Riverside.
I don't know why we did that. I mean, you're
I don't know. I know. I think I just need to pay for
streaming.
Yeah, it's not our fault. It's Riverside not being really good for that. And even if I pulled up the combined files, Naomi, let me tell you, the combined video file.
Yeah. Was it a hot mess?
It's horrendous.
Really?
Yeah. So
I wonder why
that
they do
is
it that way.
I don't know. I don't know if they're just like more focused on audio than video.
No.
But let me tell you. They need to steal some features from StreamYard because that is superior when you're pulling in and out graphics like that. So maybe since my little Patreon is putting some money into the Nerdy Nurse Reads coffers, I will get StreamYard and then we can share it because we just need a StreamYard.
Yeah.
We need one person to have StreamYard.
Yeah, and then StreamYard, I want y'all to do like Riverside and give people the ability to make clips from the freaking video. So we can
maybe if I paid for it. I don't know. We're cheap at some point. So anyway, if you want us to have higher quality stuff, join Patreons.
Yay!
We have a Patreon here for TBR Lowdown. So if you want to support the channel, really just gratuitous self-promotion here. I have a Patreon for my channel. And Naomi probably has a PayPal if you want to just send her money just for being fabulous.
I'll take it.
Cash App.
Oh, what a good time this is. Yeah, so go to our website for everything.
Mm-hmm.
To join the Discord, to join the Patreon, to subscribe to our Substack newsletter, TBRLowdown.com.
Yes, ma'am. All right. What are you reading or what did you recently finish? I'm going to try to keep us on track because we get off track so easy.
Yeah, so I am, I want to talk about how much I'm enjoying War and Peace. So
I love that chuckle.
Because I really wanted this edition. So I'm participating in this year-long War and Peace readathon with, I'll have to put the gentleman's Instagram in our show notes. But I I don't know what I expected from War and Peace. I did not expect it to read really quickly. I did not expect it to be so humorous. I did not expect it to oftentimes feel like I'm reading like a salacious little newsletter about a community and all their little, secrets and whatnot. But that's how it feels. And I'm really enjoying this a great deal. So if you've ever had any hesitation about reading War and Peace, I would say give it a go. And the chapters are really short. They're really, really short. So I'm just having a good old time reading this. I've also never taken a full year to read anything, so that's different for me too. So I don't know. Just overall, it's a very enjoyable experience. War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. Duh.
Who does your translation? Which translation is that? Because
there's several, and oh my gosh, in his Discord, they have so many conversations about it. Okay, so mine is translated with notes by Louise and Almer Maud.
Okay, so that's the one I think
hang on. And then it says revised and edited with an introduction by Amy Mandelker.
So you have the mod translation. I have the
Mm-hmm.
PMV translation, which
People like that one too.
That one's supposed to be really good. And that's also the translation that I have for Anna Karenina, which I still need to finish. And that is something that I really do need to do this year, is finish it, because you forget how readable Tolstoy is. I don't know why my mouth did not want to say the word Tolstoy.
Because we don't have green apples.
Next episode, I'm just gonna sit here with an apple. I'm gonna eat it the whole time, so you're pissed off. Yeah, so I do need to finish that, because he is really readable, and he makes really great commentary on the times that he's writing about, and that is, I'm about it. I need to get back. I can't read War and Peace until I finish Anna Karenina.
Yes, because you already started it years ago, right?
Yeah, I started it years ago. I've started it twice now. And I get distracted because it's such a big book, and so I get totally distracted. But yeah, we'll see. I need to get some other big books off of my lap at the moment, and then I can move on. But well, speaking of read-alongs and buddy reads and getting people to read stuff with you so that you read it, I am finally starting The Lord of the Rings, and this is my lovely bind up. So I'm about 4 chapters into the Fellowship of the Ring. I don't know. I think we're just going to kind of like read them all straight. So I think it'll take about 3 months-ish to read all of them. So I'm just doing a little bit at a time. Jesus is doing a little bit with me, because this is one of his favorite series ever, and so he's really excited because he's like, we can talk about it. I'm like, okay, babe, we can talk about Lord of the Rings.
Don't fly past him in the reading. I know.
I am 2 chapters behind him. I'm trying not to fly too far past it, but he says it's okay if I pass him because he's read it so many times it doesn't matter.
Okay, all right.
So I'm trying to not get too far ahead of the rest of the group. It's hard for me, but I'm trying. But I have enough other things on my plate at the moment that I just kind of cycle this in. I will say the audiobooks for this are so far amazing. I'm really enjoying them. I think we've been watching the movie. So a couple of us watched the movie this past weekend, and then we started on the 1st of February. Okay. So we're kind of like watch a movie, read a book. Watch a movie, read a book. So like, we've all seen the movie. We all know the story. It's not like this is just going to give us more story, really. So it's kind of like a nice way to keep us sort of on track. And it's kind of nice to have the movie so fresh in my mind while reading it, to see the things that were not included and the way that they changed things in the movies. Because I don't know, it's keeping me way more engaged in the text.
Okay.
So it's kind of nice. I also didn't realize that Frodo was like 50 years old.
Oh.
Because hobbits have a different lifespan. I didn't realize that. He's like, Elijah Wood is like looks like a 15-year-old boy. So like, I just assumed he was like a child. And I guess he's kind of a child as a hobbit. Well, he's not like a young adult as a hobbit, but like, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that either. Yeah. Okay, so safe to say that you're enjoying what you're reading so far?
Yes, so far.
Okay. Okay.
So yes. I am enjoying Lord of the Rings. It is good.
All right. Well, we both have lots of books surrounding us right now on our desks. And
we always have lots of books surrounding us because we're middle class.
If you want to know what that's about, subscribe to our Substack. By the way, I sent you another link because this topic just keeps going on. Did you see that story? I sent you that
I saw that story. Yeah, good old Tor.
So it's a very interesting conversation that just like has its own little lifespan. That's I don't know where we're going with it. It's interesting. Anyway, subscribe to the newsletter to see what we're talking about. All right. So what's on the deck? What's on the docket?
So we have 10 like 10 fantasy reads we want to get to this year. I have already done a video on this over on my channel if you want to watch that list. There's not a lot of overlap. There's a couple overlaps, but not a lot, because I have a bunch of Tor has spoiled me in the last couple
Mm-hmm.
weeks. So I have
Ma'am,
Tor always
Tor has
spoils me.
spoiled you. Yes, correction. Yes, you are a
Tor,
Tor darling. So
Tor,
let's
I'm a
just
Tor whore
clear
and
that up.
I love Tor. I love them so much. And they're honestly like the best. No shade to anybody else that I work with in like the publishing
Mm-hmm.
sphere, but the Tor people are some of the best people that I have worked with. I love them so much. And their whole their publicity team is just phenomenal. So I love all of them. So
Yeah.
shout out to everybody at Tor. But yeah, I have a
Mm-hmm.
ton of arcs and finished copies and things that are coming out in 2023 that I want to go through with you. So it's a little bit of like anticipated reads, a little bit of things I want to get to. So that's my list because I kind of already did this once. I didn't want to do it a second
Yeah.
time completely. And then I guess yours is a little bit more true to the brief.
Yes. Mine. Yes, mine are just 10 fantasy slash sci-fi series I want to either start or finish.
Do you want to get going with yours?
Let me get going. All right, let's take it back to 2020. Remember that time, 2020?
No,
And
I
this
don't
is
want to.
when it's when I first read Red Rising and Golden Sun by Pierce Brown, and I loved it. Uh-huh. And I had got them from the library, and I lucked up and found the trilogy at McKay months later. So I think there are currently 6 books, with a 7th one coming out in May of this year in this entire Red Rising saga. I'm gonna need to reread both Red Rising and Golden Sun, and then continue on with Morning Star, and then I can get the rest of the books and finish the series. Or I don't know if number 7 is the final one, but get caught up with the series. And I'm really looking forward to it because I had a great time when I read these first 2 books. So this is the Red Rising saga by Pierce Brown.
Who, by the way, is hot. Anyway, I Google him.
Yeah.
Mute
Oh,
yourself and Google him. He
hello.
fine. He
He's
fine.
got
Anyway,
it's the eyes for me.
he's fine. Anyway, I still need to read that series. I think I'm scared of hating it because like it's one of Charlotte. You know Charlotte, Made Beast.
She
Charlotte
loves it.
Powers. She loves it.
Yeah,
Check out
she
her book.
loves
It's
it.
fantastic. I told you I was going to plug
Yeah.
her book a shit ton. Here we go.
Yes.
Read Made Beast. It's great if you want
Yeah.
mafia romance with Monster Ween. Anyway, so I hope Charlotte appreciates me whoring her book
She
out.
does. She does. She's such a sweetie.
But I'm so scared to hate it because I feel like I would break her heart. So I haven't picked it up. I'm so scared.
Well,
I
don't be
have the
scared. Be
first one
excited.
and in hardback, which I know is like
That's
hard to find.
It is
So
hard to find, ma'am. So hard.
and
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
so I need to just read it. Anyway, um so Tor sent me, this is on the list of things Tor has sent me. Now this is already out. It's out now in paperback. And this is Cade's book 2 of the first one was Fate of the Fallen. And I really loved
Oh.
book 1. And so I'm super excited to read Destiny of the Dead. Um it's very like there's like a pantheon of gods. The world is it's a little bit more like Kings of the Wild-esque feel where it's humorous and doesn't take itself too seriously.
Mhm.
But they got lots of high stakes. I really liked it. I thought it was
Yeah.
fantastic, and I'm really excited to see where the story goes. I feel like I don't hear a lot about it, but I loved it. So I'm excited for book
Yeah.
2, and thank you to Tor. Thank you to Tor for everything that you've sent me in this pile today, because I'm not gonna say it every time, but special thank you for sending me this because I didn't
That
think I was
cover.
getting one. I know I was like, hey, I would love book 2 if you have book 2, and then I heard nothing for like a year, and then this just magically showed up on my doorstep, and I was like,
I love when
oh,
that happens.
Tor.
I
So
love when that happens.
excited, love this.
I do remember when the first book, I feel like they did a really good job marketing that book.
It was a book
But
of the month
then
pick.
oh, it was? I don't know.
Mhm.
I heard so much buzz about it beforehand. Like they really marketed that book well, I thought. But then it seemed like I didn't hear anything about it after it came out. It's like it just kind of went flat, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting."
I really enjoyed it. Um, I've seen a few other people that have spoken about it, saying how much they love it, but I don't. I haven't seen a ton of after the fact.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you got book two. Also, the cover of book two is kind of badass.
It
I
is
dig
kind of
it.
badass. I love it.
Yeah. All right, so we're moving on to one of my favorite authors, Shauna McGuire, who also writes under, I don't know, several pen names. Mira Grant, Deborah somebody. She's got like so many pen names, but
Deborah A. Baker or something, or
that's it.
Barker.
That's her third one. So last year I found, because I looked for these books for like, I don't know, 2 years at McKay and everywhere. I couldn't find any thrifted. But I lucked up last year and I finally found books in her October Day series. It's her
Oh
urban
yeah.
fiction, her urban fantasy.
Mhm.
And I found book one first. And then like, I don't know, 7 months later, I found books two, three, and four. So I read like a little bit of Rosemary and Rue book one just to kind of see like, is this gonna be my vibe? It's totally my vibe. So I'm excited to get into this. And this is just basically about fairies and mortal worlds and all that stuff colliding and secrets of hidden powers, and it feels amazing, and I'm excited to get to it. So I currently have Rosemary and Rue, Late Eclipses, A Local Habitation, and Artificial Night. So the first four books, and hopefully I can keep scoring these at McKay.
Excellent. Um, I was just gonna go through the pile, but for continuity's sake, I'll grab this one, a couple books down. I have a Mayor Grant.
Oh, I have that too.
Parasite. I'm very excited to try this. It sounds very like zombie apocalypse, dystopian. Something goes wrong in the lab, and I'm really excited to
Mm-hmm.
try this. I found this at McKay, I believe, or somewhere like
Mm-hmm.
that. And I just have this one. I don't have anything else in this little series. I think it's a trilogy. I could be wrong.
Yes, it
Who the
is.
hell knows? But I figured I'd try it, and if I don't like it, I will get rid of it. But I have a feeling I'm gonna like it. It's Mira Grant. I'm gonna like it.
Yeah, I have book one and I have
Do you have the Newsflash
book
one too?
three, Chimera. I have one of the News Flesh ones, but I've already read that series though.
Yeah.
I've read
Anyway,
the News
so
Flesh series. So I have book one and three, so I need to find book two.
cool.
Hopefully in May we'll run across it.
I have to put in my dates for that. Anyway, oh, that was a big thud. You're gonna hate that.
It's fine. All right. So this is a series, a sci-fi series I've had for a few years that I need to really get to. It's Anne Leckie's Ancillary. Is it called Ancillary Justice? Or is that just the first book's name? Anyway, it's this trilogy here. Um, Boy, that's backwards. Ancillary Justice is book one. Ancillary Sword is book two, and Ancillary Mercy is book three. And I always heard good things about her. And then one day I was in the Second Avenue thrift store, and all three of those books were right there. This is a few years ago. So I'm really excited to get to this. So it says on a remote icy planet, the soldier known as Breck, is drawing closer to completing her quest. Once she was the Justice of Turin, a colossal starship with an artificial intelligence linking thousands of soldiers in the service of the RAC, the empire that conquered the galaxy. Now, an act of treachery has ripped it all away, leaving her with one fragile human body, unanswered questions, and a burning desire for vengeance. Yes! So, very
Ooh,
excited to finally get to this.
that sounds good. Love me a good orbit book.
Hmm.
Back to the top of the pile. I need to get my orc on, so the Gray Bastards needs to be started this year. I
We
think
do need to read this.
I have one and two, and that's it. I thought they were
I
both
just
gonna
have
be hard
one.
copies, but they're not. I mean hardbacks. They're not. Somehow I ended up with a paperback and a hardback, but that's cool. That's fine. That's cool. Um, yeah. So I think this is supposed to have the same kind of like sarcastic vibes. Um,
Hmm.
and this is grimdark, right?
Hmm.
So I'm the vibes of this sound like I'm gonna love it.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to it. And who doesn't want more orcs in their lives?
Right.
Um, it also kind of looks like it could be a fantasy, not fantasy, a romance, doesn't it? Look like it could be like a monster romance.
Does it? Not to me. All I see is murder when I look at that cover. I don't. I just
That
start
does
thinking
not mean
murder.
that it can't be a monster romance, just so you're
Well,
aware.
I mean, that's true. That's not the vibe I'm picking up. I'm
Maybe
excited for
it's
that
just
one.
like he has a nice back and I'm attracted to nice backs. So I'm like, oh,
Well, yes, there it is.
there you
Yeah,
go.
that one has been on my shelf a little too long, and really need to get that going. Seriously.
There you go. That's how you get Alyssa. You work on your lats and put a big tattoo over it, and I will drool. Anyway,
Ooh, yow.
for all of our male listeners.
Just in case you were wondering. Uh-huh. All right, my next one. If you are a fantasy reader, then you have already read this, or you at least know about it, and that is Dan Simmons' Hyperion. I got
Oh, the
books 1 and
Hyperion
2.
series.
I've been dying to give these a try. They also very hard to find. Very hard to
Yeah, because
find.
they're canonical. They're really, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've got books 1 and 2. And I'm excited to see what all this fuss is about. So hopefully I enjoy it. I don't even know how long the series is, but I'm here for the ride.
Yeah, I've never read it because I've never found it. But um,
Yeah, so
you know,
hard.
you know what Jesus says instead of what all the fuss is about. He says what all the fuzz is about, and he's like, "What's the fuzz?" And I'm like, I don't correct him because it's adorable and I love it. It's
That's really
adorable. Is
cute.
that not adorable? I love it. I
What
love
is
it
the
so much.
fuzz about?
What's the fuzz? It's adorable. He thinks I
All
make fun
right.
of him, but no, sometimes I just think he's
It's just
cute.
cute. It's just cute.
Um, let the wind rage outside. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's
Can't
really
hear a
windy here
thing.
in New York. I have from Tor, just came out in November, but Ocean's Echo. I haven't gotten to it yet. This is the Everine Maxwell's second standalone. They wrote Winter's Orbit. This one has so they're like sci-fi kind of romancy novels.
Oh, hang on.
Um,
That's not a series? That's
no,
an
they kind of they're standalones. So
Oh,
you don't have
I
to
did
read
not
them
know
together.
that. Okay.
They are standalones. I believe they're kind of in the same, yeah, they're set in the same universe as Orbit, but they're
Okay.
separate books. So
Got it.
I still don't own Winter's Orbit, so I have my eyes out for like a just like a used copy of it. I'll get it
I
one
didn't know
day.
you wanted that. That was at McKay the last time I was there. I didn't know you wanted that.
Well, I'm gonna pull
Like,
up
I
a book
remember
fan.
seeing that.
Girl, this is
Was
like
it
when
on
you
the
didn't get,
list?
no, but this is like when you didn't get breast and eggs.
Oh, yeah, because I thought you already had it. I'm still pissed
Yeah,
about
don't
that.
worry. When we're done discussing this, I will add it to the list for, yeah,
Okay.
for future. But yes, so this has two likely neuromodified soldiers who fall in love. Basically, one has the power to read thoughts, and one has the power to control others. I can't remember what the like vibes of this are like in sort of romancy terms, like Grumpy Sunshine or what, but I'm really excited for this one. I just have to get to it. One of my things for 2023 is reading more fantasy and to stop getting
Mm-hmm.
sucked into literary fiction. The problem is I keep
So
getting
hard.
sucked into literary fiction.
And I'm not helping. I'm like making it
No,
worse.
no, you make it worse.
I
The
know. I'm
Plek Discord
sorry.
makes it worse. Everybody
I
makes it
know.
worse. So I'm trying to, every time I try to get away from some literary fiction and go off into a fantasy land with fucking dragons, this book bitch comes over and she's like, "So
I
I
do.
have 16 books I'd like us to read for the podcast."
She's not lying. She is not wrong. I do that all the time. And then she's like, shit. Oh, okay.
What do you got?
All right.
What's your next one?
My next one is by my new favorite sci-fi author, and that is John Scalzi. So I started reading the Old Man's War series last year, and I've just completed books 4 and 5. I only have book 6 to read, which I'm going to read this month, and then that series is over. But I love his writing style. He is actually quite humorous And I love everything about how he like develops a character and writes a story and sets out a good space opera plot. I just love him. So I have another one of his series, and it's the Interdependency series. And I've got books 1 and 2, The Collapsing Empire and The Consuming Fire. Boop, boop. These are also hard to find. And so it says humanity flows away from Earth into space and in time forgets our home world and creates a new empire, the Interdependency, whose ethos requires that no one human outpost can survive without the others. It's a hedge against interstellar war and a system of control for the rulers of the empire. The flow is eternal, but it is not static. Just as a river changes course, the flow changes as well, cutting off worlds from the rest of humanity. Can't wait. Love it. So excited. Ding.
She's so psyched. I added that too. I added Winter's Orbit to the list.
Okay, good.
So you can never make that mistake again. Anywho, I'm like shaming you. Never make that mistake.
Never. I mean, Bristol Nates was it. Like, I'm surprised we're
That
still
was
friends. I'm surprised we're still friends. That was terrible.
I'm a very, very tolerant person until I'm not. So
Yes, yeah.
you have some more strikes.
This is us. Yeah. That was I was so mad. I was like, why did I think she already had this damn book? Because that is not a book you come across. That's why I was like, God dang it, I've missed my opportunity. Anyway, your turn.
Do I have too many books too? 4, 6. Oh, I think I might have one too many books. Anyway, so I'm gonna don't laugh at me. I'm gonna finish this lovely Nora Roberts
Why would I
series.
laugh?
I don't know. And this is the Dragonheart Legacy. I'm finally ready for book 3. I only own books 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, 1 and 3. I need to get book 2. But this is like a totally fine fairy fantasy romance thing.
Is it soft fantasy?
It's
Or
very like it's not cozy fantasy and like actual definition of what cozy fantasy is, but it's like soft
soft, like
fantasy.
not like hardcore world building and all that, but like just
No, but
okay.
it's
All right.
like it's like comfy. It's like a comfy fantasy. There's nothing too crazy going on,
Okay.
and there's stakes and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and evilness and things. And I think there was I think I was a little bit shocked to see Nora Roberts handle sodomy, but um I guess maybe I shouldn't have been. But anyway, so like there's just something like I didn't think she would be that naughty, but anyway.
What? I That does not surprise me.
But I don't really know a lot about Nora Roberts, but I really like the audiobooks for these because
Mm-hmm.
they have like I don't know, the Irish voices in here just make me
Oh, I
feel
love that.
they make me feel cozy and remind me of Ireland. But
I love
yeah,
that.
so I'm gonna finally finish this series, see what happens. And I learned something about Nora Roberts. She's spicier than I ever thought she was.
Doesn't surprise me. That woman is prolific. I tell you what. I mean, she's writing what? She's writing romance. She's writing a serialized investigator, series, and
Mhm.
she does a lot. She's writing the fantasy,
Mhm.
and to my understanding, she's not like James Patterson, who basically just slaps his name on a book, but it's somebody else who wrote it. Like she's writing everything.
No, she's
I don't think she's gone down the James Patterson path.
I don't think anybody is like James Patterson. Um yeah, so that's that.
All right. This next one you also have, and I really want to get through this year because I want to continue on with the next part of this series that he's created. And this is the Faithful and the Fallen series by John Gwynn. I
We say
believe
that
Alyssa
every year.
every year, but god dang it, this is the year. We bought this 2 years ago. We bought
Yep.
this series 2 years ago. It is time to start because now he's like, I don't know, on book 2 or 3 of the series after this in the same world. And I hear it's even better than this. So I'm like, I'm pumped up. I'm pumped up. So yeah, I want to get to
So
this.
so you know what you need to do?
What?
Stop adding literary fiction to my life so that I
I
can read
know,
some
dang it. I
damn
know.
fantasy.
I
Thank you.
know. I know. It's just so much good stuff. That's okay. I know. I know. I know.
The problem
We
is that
need
we have actual jobs.
right, real ones. Like this is not the job, folks. In case you all were wondering, this is the hobby. we both have full-time jobs that have nothing to do with books. Absolutely nothing.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, let me read a little bit of the. Is this the first one of the back? So it says the banished lands have a violent past where armies of men and giants clashed in battle, and uneasy peace reigns. But now giants stir once more. The very stones weep blood, and there are sightings of gigantic worms. Those who can still read the signs see a prophecy realized. Sorrow will darken the world as angels and demons make it their battlefield. Yes.
I mean, I'm here for it. We just have to actually, I don't know, do it.
Well, I'm ready.
This is
I'm
what she
ready.
says, folks.
Well, I think I've given up on the Wheel of Times series.
I probably will go back to it at some point, but I'm not focused on it.
Yeah, like I don't think I'm going back to it this year.
No, I'll get there
I don't
eventually.
think I'm, because what I would like to do is, after I've read all of these, like I think the next big read will be the Malazan series. That's definitely
Yeah,
going to
that's
trump
going to be a commitment.
that, right?
So,
So I feel like if I can get through the fantasy on my shelves this year, then my big series read for 2024 will be Malazan. Malazan. Well, how do you say it? Malazan? Malazan?
I think it's Malazan.
Malazan?
I don't know. It's fantasy. Don't ask me. I don't
Okay.
fucking know how to say anything.
I don't
So
know.
this is not going to be one of those episodes where I don't curse, apparently. So I blame
So
my
that's it.
uterus.
Alyssa and I will be going down the Malazan road at some point. So just stay tuned for that. And if you've read it, let us know what you thought about it. Or if you want to read it with us, DM us on Instagram, TBR Lowdown.
Where are you in Game of Thrones?
Okay, so I
Because
need
are you
to.
on book 3 yet?
No, I only read book one. That's in my pile.
Okay, well, we'll discuss that in a minute. Okay, so I finally want to get to this wonderful book that Angry Robot sent me, and that is Full Immersion.
Mm.
This is a horror fantasy that I just didn't get to last year, and it says, "What can you do when you're reeling from trauma, but you've tried it all? Counseling, yoga, pills, meditation, art, healthy living. None of it makes a dent. What's left?" So I feel like this is going to be like the sad girl lit horror fantasy version, and I
Ooh,
am
interesting.
here for that, and I really need to prioritize it. So,
Interesting. I like that. I
mhm.
like it. All right. My next one is the Courting Darkness duology by Robin Lefevers.
Oh, I have that.
Sorry,
I've
Robin.
never read that. I have to. I bought all of those books for you, and I still haven't read them.
I know. So this is I
The
guess
spin-off
this
of
is a continuation. This is a spinoff from her trilogy called His Fair Assassins, which was so good. I enjoyed every book. I read that last year. Highly enjoyed it. So I want to read the next two books in this whole world, which is Courting Darkness and Lighting Darkness. So these are probably going to be really easy reads, so I can get through these fairly quickly. But I'm excited to like kind of continue on with some of these characters. So yeah, check it out. If you haven't read His Fair Assassins series, I would give it a go. It was a good time. It was a good time.
I do have it. I'll get there eventually
Yeah, I know you will.
if you ever let me. And
And it's
I'm just gonna
going
keep
to.
blaming you. It's not just you. It's me too. I'm fully
I know.
culpable. So because tour is amazing. Now we're just like in Tourland, so enjoy. Um, I read like a year ago The Helm of Midnight by
Mhm.
Marina Lassiter. I always say her name wrong. Um, and they just sent me book 2, which I think comes out next week
Mm,
as a filming, so it'll be out in
okay.
February. And that's The Cage of Dark Hours. The covers for these are stunning. Go look up Helm of Midnight, and I'll just give you
Mm-hmm.
like a little review of Helm of Midnight. Helm of Midnight. I like that it says Hannibal meets Mistborn in Marina Lassiter's The Helm of Midnight, a dark, stunning first novel in a new trilogy that combines the intricate world building and rigorous magic system of the best epic fantasies with a dark and chilling thriller. So this
Yeah.
was really different. I feel like it's got more vibes like a why am I blanking? Getting the ninth in terms of how it sort of feels.
Mm-hmm.
and is written, but it's like a mystery fantasy. There's like a Sherlockian nature to it, and I found it so much fun. I don't know if it's going to be
Mm.
for everybody, but it's
Yeah.
like in that weird like sliver of fantasy that's not epic. It's not, I don't know how to like describe
It's a
it,
good read.
but it's a good read. I'm excited to see
Yeah.
where we go in book 2. I think I'm going to do a reread of book 1 first to make sure that I remember everything. There's like death
Right.
masks, there's like treachery. It's I loved it. So, super excited for the next book. I love these weird fantasies.
Mm-hmm.
I do like them.
I mean, The Hymn of Midnight was good. It was really interesting.
It
But
was
I don't
different.
have
It
that one.
wasn't like the same like I don't know, sometimes with like regular old fantasy, like the epic
Mm-hmm.
fantasies, they kind of all read the same.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, because they just keep following basically the Lord of the Rings. And
Yeah.
I don't, yeah. So I'm enjoying these weirder ones.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right, my next one, another one I've had on my shelves for a little bit too long now. It is A Memory Called Empire by Arcady Martine. That's probably
Hmm.
wrong. So this is book 1.
Ooh, I want
Book
to read that.
2, yeah, book 2 came out, I don't know, a couple years ago, and book 3 will be happening at some point. So it says Ambassador Mahit Mar is far from home. Her predecessor has been murdered. Her one connection to home has gone silent. So I'm excited to get to this finally, and then I've got to find book 2 and get prepped for whenever book 3 is going to be coming into our lives. And I don't think there's even a maybe it'll come out this year because this one came out in 2019. Book 2 came out 2 years later, 2021. So maybe book 3 is happening this year,
Maybe.
hopefully. But I've always heard good things about it. So
I think
I'm
it was
excited.
like I think that was a Hugo Award book. Or at least was nominated at the year it came out. I can't remember. Anyway, it's supposed to be really good. I really want to read it.
Yeah.
Um, I have a few arcs and things that are coming out soon from Tor to round this out. And one is a Baba Yaga retelling, and this is Spring's Arcana by Lilith St. Crow. And this is book 1 of the Dead God's Heart duology. So if you want a duology, this one sounds really, really good. It's got like a great, like, look at that
The
jag
cover
on the
is
cover.
fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. Natasha Dorzova is desperate to save a life. Doctors can do little for her cancer ridden mother, who insists there's only one cure and that Nat must visit a skyscraper in Manhattan to get it. Amid a snow locked city inside a sleek glass walled office, Nat makes her plea and is whisked into a terrifying new world, for the skyscraper holds a hungry winter goddess who has the power to cure her mother if Nat finds a stolen object of great power. And that's where I'm going to
I
stop for
like
that.
it.
But it sounds really, really good. I like that I wasn't watching you, but I know the face you made when you snapped at whoever came in the door. And
Hmm. Yep. Yep. Hmm.
yeah.
Now
Oh, I should say when that comes out. This
Yes,
comes
please do tell
out
the people.
in, I don't know if I have the exact date, but I believe it comes out in May. So sometime in May, this is coming out from Tor.
Now Little St. Croix is my new girl because her Dante Valentine series is
You
just like
love that series.
it's so damn fun. It is so fun and so good. And I think I only have 3 more books to read in that series, and then I want to read her Jill Kismet series.
And
But
then
I
you'll read
like
this
her a
duology
lot.
with me. Hmm.
I'm reading her whole backlist. I like her. She's a good time.
Good.
Alrighty. My next one is what is the name of this series? Oh, the Rhaeria. Is that how you say it? Rhaeria Revelations by Michael J. Sullivan. And looked up at McKay one day and found the entire trilogy. So we got Thefts of Swords, Rise of Empire, and Heir of Navron, I guess.
Do I have Thefts of Swords? I might have that
I
one.
feel like you had a Sullivan. I just don't know which series you have a Sullivan from. But I'll read a little bit um of the back. And these were cheap too. Like these were like $3.99. because usually fantasy is still kind of expensive at McKay or
Mm-hmm.
any like when I say expensive, I mean like $5-6. Okay, because I'm cheap. I'm gonna have to pull this up on my phone because I can't get this thing off right now. So and I think if I'm not mistaken, I think there is a follow-up series, I think, to this. I think there's more in this world, I think. Anyway. All right, so Theft of Swords. Royce Melbourne, a skilled thief, and his mercenary partner, Hadian Blackwater, make a profitable living carrying out dangerous assignments for conspiring nobles until they are hired to pilfer a famed sword. What appears to be just a simple job finds them framed for the murder of the king and trapped in a conspiracy that uncovers a plot for greater than the mere overthrow of a tiny kingdom. I am so here for it.
I have the Crown Tower. That's the Sullivan I have.
The Crown Tower. Okay.
Which is, I don't know where that falls in there, but I think I just picked it up because I knew the name and I was like, well, I'm
Right.
thrifting this and I will fill in the holes uh, when I get there.
Yep, that is the Rhaeria Chronicles, and that's book 1 of that series.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah. So I'm excited to finally give this author a try to see what his writing style is like and his world building and all that stuff, but I'm so psyched.
I'll have to get there too at some point. One day.
One
I have
day.
another one from Tor, and this is coming out in April. This is The Warden by Daniel M. Ford. He's kind of a
Hello.
prolific fantasy writer. There was a plan, I believe that's who I'm thinking of. Right. Yeah, I think I have other Fords somewhere in here. Anyway, there was a plan. She had the money, the connections, even the brains. It was simple. Become one of the only female necromancers, pass as many certifications as she could, get a post near the capital, and then profit. The funny thing about plans is that they are seldom under your control. So,
I
I mean,
like
I'll
it.
leave you
That
there. But there's necromancers. They had me at necromancer. Sometimes I just get
yeah,
these things
yeah.
and I'm like, oh, so you said, and then insert some crazy amount of words. And I'm like, I'm in.
Exactly.
Plus, this cover is stunning. This comes out in April.
It is. It really
Really, really
is.
excited for this. I feel like I have more Fords too. I know I'm
That
gonna search.
cover makes me feel like a lot's going to be happening and I'm just in for a hell of a ride. I like
Right?
it. All right, this is my final one. This
Oh,
is
I think I'm thinking of somebody else. I don't know if Daniel M. Ford. I don't know. I don't have any from Daniel M. Ford. I'm thinking of a different
oh,
Ford.
you're
I
thinking of
think.
another Daniel?
I think I'm thinking of
Daniel
John Ford.
Abraham? Oh, okay. All right. All right, my final series that I want to get back into is A Song of Ice and Fire by George R. R. Martin. I read A Game of Thrones last summer. I really, really enjoyed it. And I also have A Clash of Kings and A Storm of Swords.
Hmm.
So I want to get back into this and get caught up to wherever he stopped. I don't know,
And none of
book
us have the
eight,
last
seven,
book.
right? And may never get it. So,
Mhm.
but I kind of want to read this again. I really liked it. I might read this again. I'm going to. It's happening. I'm going to read A Game of Thrones again. I'm just going to do it, and then continue on and with the rest of the series. These are always at McKay, which is great. So I don't think I'll have any problem getting the rest. So I'm happy to get back into that world.
Uh, oh, sorry. I said like the worst yawn ever. Like, you know when it takes over your whole body?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Uh, I swear I slept last night. So my last one is Hopeland by Ian McDonald, which is
Ooh, what is
my
that?
man. Yes, thank you, Tor. I just want to first show you his author photo, Naomi. I don't know if you can see that. He's laughing in it. I think that's the most adorable
I
thing
love
ever.
that. He looks like a good time.
He does look like a good time. I believe this
Mm-hmm.
is out. Yep, it's out on February 14th. So I don't know where this video sits in our lineup, but it's either out now or about to be out. And says, as London burns, love falls from the southern. I'm gonna try that again. As London burns, love falls from the summer sky, not the southern sky. I don't know what that would be.
Mm-hmm.
This is a sprawling, picturesque, magical, marvelous novel, part love story, part family saga, part futuristic thriller that drives straight into the heart of the flaws and promises of the most astonishing of centuries and beyond.
Mm. I'm kind of into it.
Just sounded a little different, a little fun. I love the
Hmm.
cover. I'm here for it. It really piqued my interest when they sent me the blurbs for this one.
Definitely want to hear what you
So
think about it whenever you finish it. Get to it and
yeah.
finish it. Yeah.
So February 14th, this is out. Super psyched for this one. Yeah, open.
Well, I gotta say that and that was your last one, right?
That's my last one.
I gotta tell you, I'm kind of excited to be getting back into my fantasy and sci-fi. I mean, I read a little bit last year,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm really stoked. And there's a lot that I didn't. I still have more on my shelves for fantasy and sci-fi that I did not mention that I want to get to. But I think this is going to be a great year for us getting through our fantasy
I just we just
reads.
have to keep each other in
Well,
check.
at least we have a couple of series that we're reading together. The Black Company, The Faithful and the Fallen, um, Red Rising. So we have a few that we're going to be reading together at some point. So
Yeah,
that'll help.
maybe one day
Yeah.
we ever do it.
We need to start The Faithful and the Fallen like soon. I'm
Yesterday.
thinking like March.
Please don't add anything else to February. Thank you.
I'm not adding anything, but you see, I said March because
Yes.
I have ideas for this month. I have a lot of arcs I need to read. There's a lot of February releases,
Okay.
so yeah. But March, and then maybe we can be done by like summer.
Sure.
You're like, what? Sure. Sure. See how she's game for stuff. Get you a friend who's just down to read. This is what I'm saying. It's what you need in your life. Get you a friend who is just down to read. That's it. Life
I
enhanced.
have
Boom.
no life. Anyway, what do you have as a book recommendation, my darling?
Oh my goodness. One of my most adored series. It's the Wayward Children series.
Oh,
And
my stupid yawning.
the Wayward Children series. This is I think it's book 8, Lost in the Moment and Found. This is also by Shauna McGuire. I always read these books. I love them so much. This one was really sad. So this young little girl, she's just a happy child. Her mom and dad love her. They have a great relationship, and her and her dad go to Target like every Saturday to give mom, her alone time. But she's like a mommy and daddy Target time, and she's looking at the toys, and the next thing you know, she can't see her dad, and there's like a crowd of people just standing around some man who's on the floor, and it's her dad who died in the Target. So a few months later, her mom finds, this guy that she really likes, and they get married, and he's absolutely horrible. He is a disgusting human being. And so she runs away, and this is a Portal fantasy series. So she runs away and she walks into the store because she's thinking, I'll just call, my aunt or my grandma and they'll come get me. And she enters into this other place. And a lot of time goes by and the story goes from there. I won't spoil anything further, but it was really kind of sad, and I was kind of heartbroken for my girl here, but still another wonderful, beautifully written novella. I adore the Wayward Children series. It just delights me so much.
I have not read a single one.
I know, but like, and I usually reread them too. Like, I want to reread them again. I can't help it. They're so wonderful. They're lovely.
Perhaps one day I'll
Lost in
read
the
them.
Moment and Found by Shauna McGuire.
Well, I have nothing to hold up for you because I read it on my Kindle,
Mm.
but it's Under the Sky. Let me, I always get this wrong. Under the Earth and Over the Sky by Emily McCosh. And this is an indie self pub book that was phenomenal. So this is a cozy fantasy, uh, but it is cozy in sort of more of a strange the dreamer way than
Mm.
in a legends and lattes way. The writing
Mm.
is incredibly lush and lyrical, and the world is very Laini Taylor. It's
Mm.
very, I don't know how else to describe it other than using Taylor as an adjective. Um, so here we go. I'll read you a little bit of it. It says, in the woods where human lands meet Fae, an ancient king born before the history of men finds a dying baby. Iomar will take in the child and care for him until a suitable home in the human realm is found. But Vesline plans often go awry in the land of Lotwell. I can never say anybody's name in fantasy, where winds carry Fae across the star-strewn sky. The woods ensnare the weak-minded with their sinister song. Even Iomar, king beneath the earth, is susceptible to the will of the immortal mountains. Magic long tethered to Iomar's soul will crumble. Unknown shadows and monsters of mirrored glass will encroach upon the borders of their land, and memories thousands of years lost will unravel as Iomir struggles not only to properly rule his fair folk, but protect the fragile human son he never should have saved in the first place.
That sounds good.
It is so
That
freaking
sounds
good.
good.
It is so freaking good.
That sounds good. Okay, can you send me that?
Naomi, it is so, it honestly, whoever this lady is, she's got like a web series, she's got a couple other things, but whoever this lady is, she writes so well, Naomi. This is, there's self-pubbed, and then that's like, I don't want to shit on self-pub because I think self-pub's great, but there's like different tiers of self-pub. This is like upper echelons of self-pub, the way that she writes this
Mm.
book. It is so good. And she does illustrations. It is.
She does her own illustrations too?
Mm-hmm. Naomi is so
That's like
good.
that Rainbow Row lady, right? What's
Oh,
her
I don't
name?
know. I don't know what Rainbow Rowell does. I only like
What?
Fangirl.
Oh, isn't she the one that writes and does her illustrations?
She might. I don't know.
Okay, that sounds really really good. Don't
It
Yeah,
is
that sounds
so
good.
good. I texted it to you just now. I
Thank you.
may have broke my rules for the no buy to buy a hard copy, and it might be arriving this afternoon so that I have it on my shelves because it's so freaking good.
I accept that. That is acceptable to me.
It
Mm-hmm.
is so freaking good.
Wow. How did you find it? It was just in
Randomly
your
on
Kindle.
TikTok.
Okay. Okay.
Because I've
Okay.
started to try to interact more with Book Talk to try to see if I can get it to be more like me, get the algorithm to
Ooh.
start like making it more like me. So I've been interacting with more like cozy fantasy things and like a few literary things and a few things. I mean, it's going to take a while, but I'm getting a little bit more stuff.
Yeah.
It's not just like Coho and all the other
Right.
people you see all the time. I still see all of those, but I'm getting more other things dripped in here and there. So that's making me
Okay.
happy. But that's where I found it. It's so good. I need more people to read it.
Wow.
I
That
think that
sounds
this could
good.
be picked up by Tor. Hey, if anybody from Tor is listening, you might want to pick up this book like you did with Legends and Lattes because it's so
Well,
good.
if it's already on TikTok, which is where you found it, it's probably it
It
could be in the
just
works and you don't even know it.
it just hit. There's like a big cozy fantasy TikToker like Meg's
Oh my
Cottage,
god, the
Meg's
cover's
Cozy
incredible.
Cottage, or something like that. There's a lady on TikTok, if you know Cozy Fantasy TikTok, like there's a lady, like she is the Cozy Fantasy lady.
Yeah.
She just recently read it, and I feel like that's a good sign that it might get picked up by somebody. It should be picked up.
Wow.
It's
That
beautiful.
this it really really is.
Like most cozy fantasy doesn't really have stakes. Like this has stakes. Like there's things at stake here, but it's cozy in other ways. Like there's lots of slice of life kind of moments with this Faye and his adopted son, and
Yeah.
just the writing is so beautiful. I've never read anything and immediately thought Laini Taylor like I read this. Like there
Yeah.
is so much in this that made me go, I'm feeling like Strange the Dreamer while reading it.
Okay. And you said she also has tons of other
She's got
books.
she's got a bunch of other things. She's a book too. I'm sorry, an author tuber too, and she's got some other things. Like I think she's got like a web series that she does. Um, and she's got like In Dying Starlight, which has a bunch of different. Uh, so there's like 5 books I think so far. That are planned at least in that.
Okay.
She's and but I think the stories are in on her website or something like that. You know, some people do those
Yeah,
web
yeah.
series. I think she's got that going. And like, with I mean, the covers are just beautiful. I'll look them up. I
Wow.
need to get these as well because I just there's no way that I'm not gonna like them if they're written anything like the others, and they're very short. Like, the first one is 69 pages.
Oh, okay.
Um, let's see if book 2, I don't know how far she's gone out with them actually being available yet, because she's been sort of putting them out, like 100 pages. They're little guys, they're not huge, but
That's
oh my god,
crazy.
Naomi, I was blown away, like absolutely blown away.
Hmm. I'm intrigued. I added it
Mhm.
to my cart.
Good. Get it, read it, love it.
All right. Well, this was fun, folks. Let us know if you've read any of these series we talked about, or if you plan to. You can join our Discord. We can have those lovely discussions about all the books. Go to the website
Yes.
TBR Lowdown to join the Discord. And that's gonna do it for us. We got more recording to do.
Yes,
It's
we
gonna be
do.
a long afternoon. So boom, one down, three to go. Booyah. That's gonna do it for
Yeah.
us. Bye.